When I first met Ethan Park, I thought he was the definition of composure: sharp suits, calm voice, eyes that never revealed too much. He was my boss, the CEO of a successful marketing firm in downtown Seattle. Everyone admired him, some feared him, and a few envied the quiet authority he carried into every room. I was just a junior copywriter then, working late nights and trying to prove myself. Ethan noticed my dedication, and one evening after a long meeting, he stopped by my desk and said softly, "You remind me of someone who once believed in second chances." His tone was gentle, unexpected. From that night on, something changed between us. At first, it was just coffee breaks and after hours conversations. He would ask about my life, my dreams, my family. He listened with an intensity that made me feel seen, as if my words carried weight in his world of perfection and control. I knew the boundaries, boss and employee, but hearts rarely listened to logic. When he finally confessed, "I think about you more than I should," I froze. And yet, I didn't stop him. Our relationship grew in secret. Dinners behind tinted glass windows, weekend getaways far from the city, and moments that felt too fragile to exist in the daylight. When he asked me to marry him a year later, I said yes without hesitation. It was a whirlwind, a beautiful, impossible dream come true. For months, I lived what felt like a fairy tale. We moved into a sleek penthouse overlooking the city skyline. He was affectionate, but often distracted, spending long nights locked in his study. "Just work," he'd say, kissing my forehead before vanishing behind the door. I trusted him. I wanted to. But as time passed, little cracks began to show. Late night phone calls that ended abruptly when I entered the room. Trips to meet clients that left no trace on his schedule. And the one thing that haunted me most, the photograph I found hidden in his drawer. A woman, smiling beside him in front of a lake house. The date printed on the back was only 2 years before we met. My heart pounded as questions clawed at me. Who was she? Why did he keep this hidden? That night when Ethan came home, I asked quietly, "Who is she?" He froze, his face pale. Then, in a voice I'd never heard before, he whispered, "You weren't supposed to find that." The truth unfolded like a storm. The woman was his wife, or rather, had been. She had disappeared under mysterious circumstances after an argument during a trip. The police ruled it an accident, but her body was never found. The guilt had consumed him, he said. He moved cities, changed his life, buried the past, until he met me. Tears streamed down my face. "You should have told me," I whispered. But he only looked away, broken. "I was afraid if you knew who I really was, you'd never love me." For days, I lived in silence, torn between compassion and fear. I searched the name of his former wife online, and what I found chilled me. Local news articles, photos of the missing woman, and comments hinting that her family never believed Ethan's story. Suddenly, the man I thought I knew felt like a stranger. One evening, I followed him. He drove out of the city, down a quiet road that led to the same lake from the photo. I watched from a distance as he stood at the water's edge, holding a bouquet of white lilies, his shoulders trembling. Then I saw it, a memorial plaque with her name, Hannah Park. He knelt there, whispering words I couldn't hear, tears streaming down his face. I realized then he wasn't hiding a crime. He was hiding his grief. His silence, his distance, his pain, it all made sense. But it didn't erase the deception. When he returned to the car, I confronted him. "You don't get to bury the truth and call it love, Ethan." He looked at me, broken. I just wanted one part of my life not haunted by her memory. That night, I left the penthouse. The city lights blurred through my tears as I walked away, knowing that love built on secrets could never survive. He had given me the truth too late, and no matter how much I cared for him, trust was already gone. Months later, I received a letter. No return address, just my name. Inside was a note in his handwriting. "You taught me what love could be when it wasn't wrapped in guilt. I hope you find peace, the kind I was too afraid to give." I sat by my window, the rain tapping softly against the glass, and realized something profound. Love doesn't always end with closure. Sometimes it ends with understanding. And though I'll never forget the man who taught me both passion and pain, I now know this: the truth may hurt, but lies destroy everything they touch. As dawn broke over Seattle, I felt the weight lift, and in its place, a quiet strength. Because love, in its purest form, is never about hiding. It's about being seen completely, even in the darkness.